Hey everyone, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address for you is theclinicaltrialsguru.com. It's been a very busy week here at my day job at South Coast Clinical Trials. A lot of studies coming up, a lot of regulatory and contracts and budgets I've got to do, but it's okay. I'm not going to complain. It's better than not having anything to work on. Speaking of budgets, I've got a question to answer from a viewer, Jesus, and I'll just leave it at that. We don't want to necessarily identify him. He says, "Hey Dan, hope you're well. I could not find a video on your website besides a few interviews that address budgeting and what is fair when negotiating a study budget." So let me just stop right there. We did interview Anna Marquez on this. It was like an hour and a half long video, and it was a very popular video of ours, and I'm going to be interviewing her again this week. So stay tuned for that, and I'm definitely going to get your questions answered in depth during that interview. But let me just kind of give you the Cliff Notes version. Okay, he asks, is there a fair market value for different assessments for each visit? In other words, is there a fair market value for informed consent, a fair market value for physician fee, a fair market value for doing an ECG, or for drawing blood? And the short answer is yes. The sponsors usually have like an average, and they're willing to go above that amount. They're also, of course, willing to go below that amount if some sites don't know any better. Now the question is, how far above that amount are they willing to go? In my experiences, other people have told me as much as 100% or even more above that amount, because when a sponsor gives you a budget, they're kind of giving you the low offer, like the lower end of their fair market value. And so they expect some sites to accept that, which is good for the sponsor because they're going to pay less to those sites. And they already know that some sites who are good at negotiating and more experienced are going to ask for more. And again, the variable is how much more. And some sites, I've heard Anna Marquez tell me that she's negotiated budgets 100% more than what they were given, if not even more than that. I mean, it was something ridiculous, and I'm going to talk to her again. In my experience, that fair market value can fluctuate 30 to 50% above what they give you. So that's kind of what I negotiated, and that's before overhead, okay? So if your overhead is 30%, that's on top of what you already will negotiate. But I'm talking about just the fair market value for each procedure. The one that the sponsor gives you is a template of the averages of what they're comfortable with, but it's on the lower end. And so in my experiences, 30 to 50% above is what they're willing to go on, and some people said 100% or more. Your other question was, does sponsors take into consideration the location of the site when offering a budget? Yes, they do. They do. They understand that sites in California and New York City, like in the pricier areas, are going to have higher overheads, and that's because salaries are higher in those areas. Fuel prices might be higher. I mean, patient transportation is a huge thing for us at South Coast Clinical Trials. Because Southern California is such a sprawled out city. So we have some patients coming from as far as 60 miles away. So transportation costs are a huge issue. So the sponsors know that. And so, yeah, there are differences as far as locations. And they understand that rents are a lot higher in Los Angeles as opposed to like somewhere in Nebraska or North Dakota, just as an example. And thank you, Jesus. We're gonna get more in-depth answers from Anna when I interview her. Hopefully that's good enough. Now I wanted to give a plug to the producers of the show. On the Clinical Trials Guru, we have research profile pages. So if you're a research clinic, if you're just someone like a consultant, if you have a website, if you're an organization involved, anything involved with clinical trials, you want to get a profile on the Clinical Trials Guru. It's only $99 a year. You get free promotion, free links to your site. You get to tell the world about you. You get an interview with myself and Don. And the first 100 people to actually sign up a profile get to be producers. So they get producer credit for all of our shows that we do, and they get shout outs at the end of every videos. In addition to that, I promote them like crazy. So the first 100 people that sign up, I will be promoting you like crazy all throughout Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram. I'll find creative ways to promote you and promote your profile and promote your company. So I wanted to give a shout out to Sarah Elizabeth Siegler. I wanted to give a shout out to PTNR Research. I wanted to give a shout out to Accurate Clinical Trials. Another one to Resolve Research Solutions, and another one to Erhart Clinical Trials, ECR Trials. And if you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook or on LinkedIn, you see me promoting these people all the time. I'd love to promote you too. Sign up for the Guru profile, be amongst the first 100 people to do so, and I'll be promoting you like crazy every single day. Hope this answers your question, Jesus, and for those of you out there, hopefully I answered your question, and I'd love to see you sign up for the profile. Take care.